where I fit in, homie. Who am I but I'm Dre Mac? Came into the game just to spit facts. Into the space that I'm in. They got me by the Drake cause I'm cold with the pen. I run no diamonds but I still shine. You can dig me cause my boy's mine. My tracks flame like a Damu. The hardest part of my tongue, thinking this is warm blue. I'ma throw with a gas leak. Camouflage in the mist, but you smell me. One spark, then I bet you I'ma blow up. Then throw my name around, get stupid, then you go dumb. No rest for the weary. My verse is sitting in us, man, but you can't see me. You rather drink, they gon' pull up. I'm drinking knife through the game, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. I came to eat at the a la carte. Got stripped of a bear, come be brainstorm. Then I come together like a Voltron. Then I poured all the planks to use Decepticons. Fake rappers that retreat like Cobra. 80s they can throw they like. Up in the storage and I'm man. Up, down, man, I'm cheap. You a beast, man. I take a beat in. Ninja Turtle rap, Turtle Clans, get defeated. High in my ride. You can call me Night Rider. You can never stop me. Cause I'm a guy bomb. Bad attitude like a rocket. My whole to the A. And I bet you can't stop us. LL bad when I go and show up. You can hear the haters in the back. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie. Let me get him where I fit in, homie.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? What's going on? What is up, everybody? This is your man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast. You're from the West Coast. Get up. You already know that the early bird gets the worm. And today, I got an interesting conversation or reaction video, not conversation, but reaction video with Cool Colas. I think that's how you pronounce it. Shout out to Torian. But me and Cool is supposed to hook up sometime and be able to talk recast T'Challa and all of that. And I know I got tagged in a video about that, you know, the Black Panther franchise is gonna be worse than what it came to be. So I got a lot of stuff that I'm going to do. I'm probably going to just make that video, do a reaction to that, and just upload that later on today. For you guys, I did get some sleep because I didn't go to. I wasn't driving in the snow yesterday. I was saying I got a lot of time. I could take a day off. So I've been chilling. I was gonna go live last night and just hang with you guys, but I was like, you know what? Let me get some sleep. let me chill out, get a little nap in or whatever. That nap turned into sleep. It turned into real sleep. But hopefully you guys are happy. Hopefully you guys are healthy and y'all doing good today. And shout out to my man Heavy Gan over at the Heavy Gan channel. But you already know how I do. We about to get this thing started. The real question is, all right. Let's get into all who is in the house today. Be positive. What's up? Good morning. Roberta is in the house of church, auntie. So you ain't gonna be no cussing. See, dang, I was gonna cuss. Now Roberta's in here. Now I gotta shut up. No, I'm just playing. Hey, Roberta, what's going on? Good morning. American DG, what's up? Hey, I started with the show you kind of gave me a hint on and went straight to sleep. I'm sorry. I don't know if I was just tired, but I gotta go back and check it out though. That Kingdom, that is something that I kind of want to check out though, but Tracy Woods, good morning, good morning, good morning. Andre Ware, what's up? Good morning, good morning. Junior Network is here. What's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Xavier Phoenix, good morning, good morning. Chillmonger, it was like my favorite part is go, catch you go. I pin a sword, then I'm He-Man, up, up, down, down, left. Man, I'm cheating. Oh man, brother Jim in here. What's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tommy is up in here. What's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Marley Mart is up in here. What's up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. And I know I seen the video that y'all did about the black wrestlers. He does, it's a real good conversation. So I can't wait to hook up with him and actually have a one-to-one conversation. He hit me up. We need to put it together. All we need to do is set it up and go from there. But yeah, I like the way, I like the way he structured his. I like people with a good thought process. You know what I mean? Who it's not emotional, it's about you're using this. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Amon Scott? Good to see you up in here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Up in the live stream this morning. Paris Crockett, good morning, good morning, good morning. What's good? What's good? See you up in here. But yeah, what I like when I have a conversation with somebody, I like someone to come with a logical thought. All the emotions and all of that stuff ain't big. I ain't gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna pay no attention to you because there's no logical thought process in that. And with the homie, I love the way that he thinks about it before he actually, gives his spiel, and I like that. So that means we can be able to have a conversation that is not just emotionally charged. We can actually think about it, you know what I mean, and actually come, even if we agree to disagree, or even if we just totally agree, it's good to have somebody that's, that's dope. So, you know what I mean, that actually has that dope mind process. So I like that. Let's see. All right. So with this, the name of his video was "Why Did Everyone Hate Captain America: Brave New World?" My thoughts. That's why I was like, that's why was Brave New World overly hated? I think personally, I know you guys are in the chat. Personally, I think it is overly hated. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's not a bad movie. It's just a redundant movie. You know what I mean? At least they did it redundantly off of movies that are good. You know what I mean? They didn't take the Morbius approach or anything like that. It was just overly the process was overly done. That doesn't make the movie bad. You know what I mean? And I think that's where people get misconstrued is when we give you a critique, I'm giving you a critique and I'm basing it based off of other movies in the MCU. You know what I mean? And how narratively wise is it cohesive? If I'm just judging it on movie alone, there is some problems, but it's not bad. There's problem with the main antagonist, but is it bad? Hell no, I've seen worse. You know what I mean? So yes, I do believe that is legitimately overly hated. So yeah. Let's without further ado, let's transition over. Let's get to this video and let's see exactly what he's actually. I have not watched this. Shout out to my man Torian Rain Reloaded for sending me this. Yeah, I will give you props. I will give all of y'all props. The ones who tag me and stuff, the ones who send me stuff to the end, in my on Instagram, like that's the easiest place to get at me at for real. You know what I'm saying? It's Instagram. I go back and forth. I in and out of Twitter. But if you send stuff to me on my Instagram, I can't help but look at it because I'm mainly on IG anyway. So anybody who sends me the stuff, Tori, yeah, Andre Ware send me stuff, Gray send me stuff. Oh, y'all, I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's something that you really want me to be like, hey man, I think you really need to look at this. I want to hear what you have to say. Which I appreciate. That means that I'm doing my job is giving you my commentary and my thoughts. So I really appreciate you guys who send me stuff for me to be able to comment on. So again, salute to y'all. But let's transition over. Let's get into this. this video, this reaction video. Let's see what he has to say, and let's see if I agree or disagree on it. Let's go. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. So, this is my man, Cool Colas. I think it's Colas. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm pronouncing it right. I don't want to say nothing wrong because Chillmonger destroyed me. You know what I mean? Chillmonger be over here talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see. We just had the Macho Man versus the Kool-Aid Man. We do not want the Chill Man versus the Mac Man. You know what I'm saying? 1-on-1. You know what I'm saying? Pinfalls count anywhere because he's talking crazy. But we'll tell you, I'll take it there. Chill, my God, man. Let me stop. Justice, no. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, it's good to see you up in here, man. It's good to see you up in here. Like I said, I got to do it. I am not gonna lie. Last night you suggested it to me, and I'm not gonna lie. I straight went to go click, and I was knocked out. Not even gonna lie. But I need this rest, man. I ain't gonna lie. I need this rest. But anyway, let's get into this video. I'm interested. I have not watched any of this. And make sure that you like and subscribe to his channel. The link is in the description. You know what I mean? And he's tagged in this video. So I want to make sure that my man gets most definitely the props he deserves. You know, let's get into it. Let's see what he's talking about.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cool Colas here, and you are now tuning into a new video on my channel. For today's topic, I'm going to be talking about the new Captain America movie, Captain America: Brave New World. And I also want to talk a bit too about some of the hate and the criticism that this movie has been given as well too, even before it was released. So let's get into it. So I want to give you all a visual of what my experience was like going to watch this movie, as I do usually when I review these different types of movies. So me and the wife went to go see this past Sunday. We got to the movie theater and it was about halfway full, which I expected because you still got spill-offs from Valentine's Day and people going to watch the movie and whatnot. So it was expected that there were going to be a decent amount of people there. But regardless, I've told y'all before, I like when my movie theater is kind of empty. I don't like a whole lot of people up in there. You got babies crying because folks didn't want to get a babysitter. So they're going to go ahead and let people be exposed to your baby wailing all the damn time while the movie is going on.
Hey, I do feel him on that. There's two ways that I look at it when it comes to like my movie theater experience. I do personally like a huge crowd in a movie theater. I don't mind the chatter and any of that. One of the reasons why I like a large theater because we can, if we're all interacting, we're all watching the same thing. I listen to see how we're interacting to certain things. You know what I mean? And I think my greatest experience was seeing Infinity War in Endgame because we all reacted the same way. You know what I mean? Almost at the same entire time, and it was symbiotic. You know what I mean? And when I'm by myself, I'm gonna be talking. Now I'm like, man, I know. Oh, okay, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm in a medium-sized movie theater and the movie's bored, these people gonna hear me snore. So it just depends. But I like having multiple people around because then I could be able to interact. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. He went with the wife. So that's awesome, man. Let's keep going.
On. You know, I don't like it when, you know, you got kids getting up every 5 seconds and you're seeing shadows and shit going across the screen. I just don't have time for all that. I just want to watch the movie because, again, I paid for it just like everybody else. Going into this movie, I expected it to be terrible, to be quite honest with you. I felt like when it came to the promotion of the movie, it was okay. I thought that they promoted the movie itself decently, but I don't feel like they promoted Mackie that much as well. So going in, The promotion was okay, but it still didn't really get me hyped for what I was going to go see.
I agree.
Ultimately, a lot of that was on the idea that I'm not really a big fan of the Sam Wilson character. He's not somebody who I can really get behind, but regardless, whenever there is a black character and he is the lead of a movie, I'm going to go see it because I want to see what types of messages and things like that they put into these different types of movies. So that was my mentality going into this. One of the things that I've been noticing, and
he said he was going for the message, which I do. I can see that. Me personally, I went into Captain America. The reason why I wasn't as hyped for Brave New World is because they advertised more of the Red Hulk, and then if you go back and watch the trailers, like we did the New Rockstars video yesterday, what they showed in the trailers, that ended up not even being in the movie. And yes, did they fix Sam Wilson coming down, like when he flies down in that opening scene? And they fixed his foot, because if you look at the trailers, his foot, it bends like you broke his ankle. But then they fixed it in post-production. So they fixed that. But I wasn't hyped because they didn't advertise Captain America. They advertised the Red Hulk. And they advertised a Captain America versus Red Hulk film where you had Giancarlo Esposito. You could have made an amazing movie with just those two, with Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross being the background. Hell, the leader could have been in the background. So I never got it. To me, this is just me personally, I never got a sense that this was a Captain America movie. I got a sense that there was a Captain America versus movie. And kind of that's not what I signed up for. It wasn't advertised like Captain America Civil War. This should have been advertised as a Captain America movie, and to me, it wasn't. And it was advertised as a political thriller, and again, it wasn't. So my personal perspective, but I want to hear what he has to say as far as like what he thought about the agenda was.
Seeing this a lot online is that a lot of folks were saying that this movie wasn't good. This movie was going to tank. This movie was terrible. This movie was just going to be the worst thing ever. It was going to be a total disaster. And I got to say that although the movie wasn't spectacular, although the movie wasn't excellent, it wasn't on the level of a Black Panther or a Winter Soldier or a Thor Ragnarok, the movie was still all right. It was still a pretty decent show. Like, it was something where, whether you're a comic fan or whether you're not a comic fan, you could kind of get with it a little bit.
Right.
So I thought it was not as bad as a lot of the people who said it was bad were saying. If I had to pinpoint the main pros with this movie, I would say was the action and also the continuity. I thought the combat scenes were good. I also liked the idea that they were continuing a story that they told in the past, and they were showing how it's developed many years later, because they kind of did the whole thing where they were going back to the mindset of Ross and all the stuff that he's done over the years, either with chasing the Incredible Hulk or his issues with the Avengers and all this other stuff. So I like how they had continuity and they went back to something that they had discussed in the past. Now, for some people, they may see that as a con because they're like, well, I started watching the movies, later down the line, so I don't remember all that. So I'm going to have to go back and watch the other ones. But for the sakes of storytelling itself, they did a great job. I've told you all before, I'm a storyteller. So if I feel like the story itself is good, then I will give it credit for that. So I did.
That's the only, that's the part that I disagree with. Going back and knowing that the Incredible Hulk, the Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, the Super Soldier Program, all of that stuff was tied into this particular movie, where this has nothing to do with Sam Wilson. I mean, you can say it is because, we had this whole situation in Falcon and the Winter Soldier with the Super Soldier Serum and Barry Zemo. And I thought that was the end of it, because and that's what I'm talking about. To me, they already told that Super Soldier Serum story in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So when I said about rehashing, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and then they also rehashed some of the stuff that was already done in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier by having Isaiah Bradley and stuff like that there. They could have saved that for a Hulk movie. If you're going to have Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, you're going to have him turn into Red Hulk. You can save that for Bruce Banner, having Betty Ross come back. That's tied to Bruce. But remember, when I'm talking about the inconsistency in the MCU, you have Bruce Banner show up in a Shang-Chi movie, but not in this particular movie. where his main antagonist from his first movie is right there. You know what I mean? And I know the MCU is all over the place. The Avengers are disbanded. You're telling me that Captain America Sam Wilson couldn't get in contact with Bruce Banner, but Bruce Banner could get in contact with Wong and Carol Danvers and all this other stuff, and having all this other information about the ring, the bangle and all of that. I mean, I'm sorry, but about the 10 rings, but he couldn't get in contact with Captain America, or Captain America couldn't get in contact with him. This is Bruce Banner. If you understand what I'm saying, it does not make sense, like narratively wise. You know what I mean? To have him show up, like, okay, James Buchanan Barnes showing up in this movie, yes, that's a continuity that was established in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But then it loses itself when you insert Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross and tie a loose end to a movie that Sam had no business. And Captain America, period, whether it's Sam Wilson or it's Steve Rogers, had no reason to be in there. There's no connection to that. Even especially with Sam Wilson not being a part of the Super Soldier program, there's there's no continuity for him to be in that movie. So I disagree with him on that.
I think that was well done from that perspective. If anything, the only thing that could have somewhat ruined the way that they told the story was the fact that Red Hawk was in the previews, because as people were watching Ross's character take these pills, or they heard about him taking these pills and there being a possibility that it was tainted, ultimately people could have put 2 and 2 together before it was shown that Ross was going to end up being Red Hulk. So I could see where people also had a problem with that. Now, what I will say is that there was a lot missing with this movie.
Hold on, before he goes any further, the biggest problem with the Red Hulk is that it should have been a reveal that should have been that personal reveal that he was going to be the Red Hulk. To me, should have never been in the marketing, because number one, it shows you this is the reason why I have this thought. Number one, it shows that you don't have any faith in the lead of this movie, which is Anthony Mackie, and you thought because I have Harrison Ford in this movie, it'll sell more, because who wouldn't want to see an 82-year-old Harrison Ford turn into the Red Hulk? That's the thought process to me that Marvel had and I put this on Nate Moore, because that is the thought process. So you didn't really think that Anthony Mackie could carry this movie. And one of the other reasons why I had this, because we've actually seen this conversation before with the Black Panther movie, when Lupita Nyong'o said that they didn't believe in a Black Panther film. We're talking about Marvel Disney, and especially Disney. Disney did not believe that a Black Panther film or Ike Perlmutter didn't think that an all-black film could work. So even in this instance, they didn't believe that a black lead could work. Because I've always said, compare the trailers of Captain America Brave New World to Captain America Winter Soldier, and tell me exactly, do those two match? And tell me, who do you think is the hero in the trailer selling the product when you're going into the movie? Do you think that really Sam is the hero in this film? He's there, but he's facing a Red Hulk. You know what I mean? Or did they show enough, you know what I mean, to say that, yes, Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie can lead this movie? That's what I got out of it. But let's keep going, because there's a lot that he's saying.
I'll name a few things. I won't name everything, but I'll name a few things. Number one, I felt like when it came to this movie, it was a story that could have been told without the inclusion of Sam Wilson. Now, some may argue that, well, Sam was needed at the end because somebody had to take down Red Hulk. But it felt like a story where, instead of it being about Sam Wilson himself, it felt like it was about everything around Sam Wilson, and he was just included. Same goes for Isaiah Bradley. It just felt like, okay, we're going to cut and paste and insert them into a story that could have been told without them. And ultimately, I felt like that was a con, because your story should really focus on the hero, not necessarily
the hero's journey.
The idea that there's a background story going on and this character is really just being thrown into it. I also was not buying Ross being a sympathetic figure. And I know a lot of the other audience members weren't buying that either. Because think about it. You have this dude who did all these horrible things, right? And all of a sudden he's just redeemed for everything that he did because he wants to be a better father to his daughter, or at least prove that he is a better father to her. So all of a sudden he's positioned as a guy who's changed. Yet he was being racist in the damn movie because he was calling Sam boy and shit. So that tells you a lot about his character. So ultimately, I think Marvel was trying to paint this picture like they do in a lot of movies where somebody who's just totally shitty has a good side. So they're redeemable to a certain extent. But I want to be clear, although I'm bringing up these couple cons, I think it leads to what I feel was the overarching message and the agendas that were being put in this movie. So let's talk about that for a second.
That's what
my theory when it comes to this movie was that Marvel was trying to tell this movie from the perspective of Sam as a token. So let me explain what I mean by that. I felt like instead of this movie being called Captain America, Brave New World, it should have been called Captain America, The Thoughts of an Unwoken Token. This entire movie was told from the perspective of...
I thought he was going to say Brave New World, Token Negro. I don't know why I thought he was going to say that, but no, he called him son. He didn't call him boy. He called him son. Because if he would have called him boy, and Sam didn't punch him in his mother face, then I would have went completely off in my review. Trust me, I would have went completely off in my review. But you know what I'm saying? He did, call him son, and then Sam's on. I can't believe he called me son. Hey, this is what I was talking about in my review. When I'm like, this is the same guy who threw you in a raft because you wouldn't follow Sokovia Accords with the early Captain America. You know what I'm saying? With the first Captain America. So you were following, you knew exactly what Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross was about when you literally was with Steve Rogers and went on the run for how many years before the events of Infinity War? You knew what was cracky with this dude. So all this, the way that he was, I think that's what pissed me off about the way that he was going at that is not about Ross, not with no leeriness. He was just like, yes, sir. No, sir. You're the president, sir. You think we could work together? Maybe there's hope. Too optimistic for me. And not sitting there like, you know what I mean? Like sitting there like, yo, this is the same dude who threw me in a rap. Like Isaiah Bradley. He should have been like Isaiah Bradley and been like, you know what? No. You know what I mean? Yeah, just, I don't know. So I do understand where he's coming from. That this was just like, if you go along, get along, you will be okay. I think that's where he's going with this. Let's see what he says. Let's see what he says, because I think that's where he's going, but let's go.
Sam Wilson, but in his tokenized mindset. So it was taking you into the thought processes of someone who was very tokenized and somebody who was trying to make it seem like they are within this system that is obviously ruled by white supremacy, but they are changing things by being inside of that system. When in actuality, they're not really changing anything. They're just being a representative, a face of symbolism that doesn't really make any real power moves outside of, again, being a symbolic gesture. Not only was this movie showcasing his thoughts as an unwoken token, it also was depicting his fantasy as if this is a common reality, or as if this was a way to show Black people that this is how we all should be. We all should be individuals who want to have a seat at the table in order to prove that the world is changing. So instead of doing tangible things for Black people, the way forward is for us to be a part of the symbolic gestures that show that there's a change, but really this is nothing more than a facade.
Woo!
Sam Wilson reminds me of...
Hold up. Wait a minute. He cooked that. I've said this many times on this program. You cannot act like you're not supposed to be. You're just happy to be at the table because you're supposed to be at that table. You know what I mean? But you're supposed to represent yourself and the people that you are, Black Americans in this, to the fullest extent. I've always said that. Stop acting like, I've said that before. Stop acting like you just happy to be at the table. You just, and I said that. Remember I said, man, when I was looking at Anthony Mackie, and this was a couple years ago when they was filming this, and Blue was laughing at me, Mika was laughing at me, you know what I mean? But I'm like, he's just too damn happy. Like, he's too happy, like he's not supposed to be there. Damn it, you're supposed to be at that table. You deserve to be, you deserve to be at the table. The ancestors that came before us bled and died to build this country. Your ass supposed to be at that table just like they are. But I do agree, and I most definitely agree with him. Not as a symbolic gesture. I'm part of America. I am America. I don't think a lot of people understand that. It ain't got nothing to do with woke or unwoke or whatever the hell these pundits tell you. You're supposed to be there. You know what I mean? But you're not supposed to be there just to be happy to be there. And just being the token guy, and that's why I said, and what did I say on the program the other day? I said, look, Sam Wilson never experienced, we talked about this with Blue, never experienced the online backlash of a black man in that Captain America suit. So what did he really learn? What's up with it, fam? My man up in here. What's good? What's good? So you cooking right now, big dog. You cooking. But I said this. I said, he never experienced real backlash for being a black man in that suit. But then we're supposed to buy in the X-Men just there being mutants. They get prosecuted. Nah. We need to start with the person that's in here first. That's the black man in that American outfit. And let him feel not exactly what Isaiah went through. Let him feel his own weight of being a black man in that suit. He never did. He didn't feel it when he became Captain America or whatever. They just made it all happy at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's Black Falcon. Nah, that's Captain America. Had the old black dude. That's Captain America. You didn't have now one person be like, I don't want that N-word in that suit. Then we're having a whole totally different conversation because that's exactly what happened in the comics. That's exactly what happened. Like, literally, they told the story in the comics, and then people was writing in the Marvel did not like that. That's not my cap. None of that. The online backlash from him being Captain America at the end of the movie of Endgame. They go give Sam Wilson, they should have gave it to Bucky. You know what I'm saying? I would rather have John Walker, the murderous psychopath from Falcon and the Winter Soldier, be Captain America rather than the black man. They did not establish any of that weight on the character in this movie. So I can't. No, he's absolutely right. He was literally the token guy in this. I 1,000% agree with that. Let's keep going.
Black Boule Negroes and those seat at the table Negroes who believe that their presence alone in the dominant society's businesses and organizations and all this other stuff is an example of how the world is changing and is less racist instead of actually making real tangible changes or building something on their own.
Exactly.
If anything, when they get inside of these systems, they don't do anything but what is told of them, even if it means that they denigrate other black people. And they do this at the end of the day because they know that there's a payout for this type of behavior. Now, when it comes to Sam Wilson, one of the things that I noticed in this thought process was that he was getting challenged a lot because he promised Isaiah Bradley that he would get some type of recognition for everything that the United States government has done to him, and especially everything that happened involving the super soldier serum. So he again was being tested here because Isaiah was reminding him like, yo, like they did all this stuff to me and whatnot. And Sam was like, well, I'm going to make it up to you by having you be amongst them, which is not really an honor. Why would he want to be amongst the people who had done terrible things to him? Because all that would do is present an opportunity for them to do something else to somebody, which actually happened, because when he was mind controlled, they didn't even believe that even Sam, when he tried to clear Isaiah's name. As a matter of fact, they were over there saying that that Sam needed to basically let it go, and that Bradley was guilty and that he needed to go to prison.
Exactly. The line itself was, you know, how would it look, Captain America, trying to defend the person who tried to kill the president because that's his friend, which isn't that what the don't let me get in real life. When the president's son was out here, you know, on the pipe, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't that a conflict of interest? If we really look at it, for him to get a pardon, especially with everything that was happening between with the United States and Ukraine, but nobody had a problem with that. And then the other president goes and he pardons his people. Nobody had a problem with that, but they tried to make Sam Wilson look like he's crazy for trying to just investigate what's going on with his friend, because why would he try to attempt, out of all places, to assassinate the president at that particular time? Boy.
The other thing that I noticed about this movie was that they tried to, while taking you into Sam Wilson's mindset, present this image of another Black person who was a token as well too, to take your attention away from the fact that Sam himself was also a token. They tried to make somebody who was much worse than him, in other words. And so they did that with this Black woman who was a employee, a very subservient negress at that, to Ross's character. And they had it where she was kind of bucking her eyes, and she was trying to get Sam not to rock the boat, and she wanted him to tiptoe around asking Ross questions and trying to get Isaiah out and all this other stuff. And you could just tell that the idea there was to say, well, Sam's not the token. Sam is this codified individual who's trying to make changes. And here is this woman, and she's just a subservient mammy. And
whoa, good God Almighty! Damn. First of all, Negress is wild. God damn. Good God Almighty! How do you get? Jesus Lord, I was not expecting that this morning. Out of all the words, the subject Negress was not on my bingo card this morning, bro. But good God Almighty! Woo! Jeez! Woo! I gotta keep going because Jesus! Oh boy!
And I'm going to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if she was non-FBA, or at least that was what they were trying to convey with her character. But of course, they didn't go into culture and all this other stuff. The other thing I want to say too is, it's just crazy to me how they take these little tokenized side characters of these white heroes and they just don't give them no type of love interest or no type of Black love interest.
They didn't.
Like, they go for movies,
they did
different TV shows even, and you just never see them with any love interest, let alone a Black love interest. One of the other lessons that they tried to portray through Sam's character, or I guess mentality in this case, was the idea that Black people should get involved in other people's business. Because let's be real, the issue between Samuel Stearns and Ross was none of Sam's business, but here he was getting involved with it by being his side piece. Let's just be real. And it kind of reminds me of
What?
when Black people are told that they need to get involved in different issues such as the Palestinian thing and such as, you know, the idea that ICE is trying to round up a bunch of immigrants and we should be putting on the cake for all these people. And the interesting thing about this is they're asking us to be a part of all these different issues, and these same people will never even advocate for laws to be passed for Black people or for there to be reparations for Black people as a whole. And I don't want but it's not old people, it's not old people. I don't want none of these silly ass Negroes to come at me because I said that. I'm talking about the vast majority. As a group, this is something that is not practiced, but we are always told to get in everybody's business and put the cape on for everybody instead of basically telling them, hey, that's y'all. My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. So-
Damn. Woo, buddy. Woo, buddy. Well, you talk about some stuff people don't want to hear. You talk about some stuff people do not want to hear. I know this. Toria must have watched it and was like, I gotta see what Dre's reaction to this. Buddy. She. Woo. Hey, look, I'm going to be honest. We do. I'm not saying that you can't have a thought process to do what you want to do. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not saying any of that because you have a right to fight whatever battle. Land, the land, free and air, G.I. Joe is there, right? If you have that right as a human being to fight whatever battle you want to fight for. At the same time, always ask yourself when things come up with us, when laws and stuff, when laws and stuff have to be passed, the George Floyd bill. I still I see people be like, well, the Asian hate bill, the George Floyd bill is wrapped up in the Asian hate bill, but the George Floyd bill came up first. Why was it called the George Floyd bill? Why we had to be tied into somebody else when we were going through these certain situations that we want to get stopped? You know what I mean? Like, we just want, like, I'm not anti-police or any of that. What I am is, anti-rogue police. You know what I mean? So if things are not in place so rogue police officers can get punished to the fullest extent and not have immunity, then hell, I'm gonna fight for that. Where is everybody else fighting for that? Why is it got to be tied into somebody else's crap when it ain't got nothing to do with that? What about the Black Hate bill? You know what I mean? Were we seeing that brother who got dragged in a truck all down the street? You know what I'm saying? When they was trying to, and the man was just walking down, jogging down the street. Then that man got beat and drugged down the goddamn street and got killed. Foot all up in his ass. What about the bill for him? But Asians, because they don't want no problems with whatever Asian country. That's why to me, it makes it seem like in a retrospect, with things like that happening, we want bills to be paid. Are we still property of the United States of America? Are we actually Americans? Because if the Asians can get a bill paid or get a bill passed, but Black people who've been in this country since the inception and helped build this country, 90% of it, then why can't we get what we need? 90, we built 90 to damn near 100% of this and not reap the benefits of this land. Just saying. So I do agree. Like I said, I don't tell nobody what to do. I'm not going to tell you, you shouldn't fight for Palestine or you should fight for I'm not going to tell you that. But also look for them same people to fight for what's going on with us here in America and see if they still have that same energy that you have for things going on here. That's it. Let's keep going because shit, I done talked too much.
So with Sam's character, they had him basically all up in some business that had really nothing to do with
exactly.
Him. Now, one could say that, well, they did mind control Isaiah and all this other stuff, but that's because he had already poked his business in the situation to begin with.
Like,
at the end of the movie, they tried to present the image that if you follow.
I always had a question with this. You know what I mean? I always had a question about this, right? If did the leader actually calculate that Sam was going to bring Isaiah, or was that by happenstance? Because say for instance, Isaiah says, "Nah, I ain't going." Does the event even happen with Isaiah? It does. Captain America actually, has a personal stake in there besides it being Isaiah? No, it's just another investigation for him to happen. So,
Follow Sam's example. And I guess this is still looking at his own mindset at this point, that you can, as a Black person, do whatever you please. And this is the way to success and change. Because look what Sam was able to do. He was able to free Isaiah Bradley, despite the fact that he shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. And on top of that, too, he was able to inspire other Hispanics and non-Blacks and all this other stuff to be just like him, But the reality is that if we really are looking at real life, look at our criminal justice system. It doesn't do anything for Black people, and the people who become lawyers and attorneys who claim to be advocates for social justice and trying to create empowerment for Black people don't really get anywhere. They don't do anything that's constructive. Some of them even have been accused organizationally even of taking the profits and the proceeds that have gone towards trying to create justice for the families of Black people who have either been unalived or they have been harmed by the white supremacist or by white supremacist actions from police, or they've also too been wrongfully accused of a crime, and then they receive the death penalty because of the actions of a suspected white supremacist judge. So it shows you that this is not the way to correct all of these things that commonly happen to Black people on a regular basis. One of the things
I got a thought real quick, and I want to get you guys' thought about this. With him being Captain America and never experiencing, it's in the chat, Derek Dynasty. It's in the chat. With him being Captain America, right? And him, as far as this movie wise, talking about Sam Wilson, and never experiencing the threat of even racism or anything, towards him, because if you really think about it, besides the whole Red Hulk situation, the only other fight that he had was with another Black man, and that was Giancarlo Esposito, which they could have just kept Seth Rollins for that character if they just gonna do what they did here. You know what I mean? If you want to, if you want to be honest. But do you feel like he actually feels the weight of being Captain America? Because he has that speech was like, was like the weight of the word. Is that just being a hero? Or that's actually being a Black man with that actual suit on and actually experiencing people not wanting you to be Captain America, like for real? Putting that eye on other people that don't look like us, that have a disdain, even people that look like us. Because I guarantee you, if in this movie Captain America was going through racism from Black and white people, I guarantee you, whenever I say Black people don't want N-word shouldn't be Captain America that looks just like me. How many? I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, you would have somebody like Tyrone Magnus get up in his chair and call this thing woke. Why? Because that is a direct representation of actually what happens. Go look at Neurotic. Go look at these other channels that don't look like us. The way that they talk about Sam Wilson being Captain America. I looked at it because I didn't want him to be, because of those type of people that push that narrative. Let's be honest. I did not want a black man to be in a white suit for the simple fact is that he doesn't need to be in a white suit to be elevated. For one, he should have just been elevated, just being Falcon. And if you write him better, put him in the same position as Captain America instead of making him a sidekick. Number two, you have situations where these white content creators, white people online, just like what they did with the Little Mermaid and stuff like that, see a black person in a white role and look at the way that we get treated. Why wasn't that represented in this movie? So we can feel the actual weight of that. But in Spider-Man, because they believed in Mysterio was right. You know, Spider-Man could go through that, but nah, let's not do the black man with that because that actually happens in real life. So instead of taking real life situations, because remember, this was pitched as a political thriller or a thriller or whatever, we got none of that. We got no real life situations that actually represent the people that's in this movie, politically and realistically. Let me keep going. So did he really earn the right to be called Captain America as a black man? No, I don't think so. Because he never went through anything to make me suffice that this man really is a representation of what black people goes when we try to represent this country. This is not the black men who fought in the Korean War, who fought in the Vietnam War, and what they experienced. So the black men who fought through every war in this country. You know what I mean? Look, if you know, just look at it like if a black man, just think about it. A black man couldn't even sit at the goddamn table with his uniform on, coming from World War II. They made him get his black ass on somewhere and go sit at a Negro establishment. This man went and fought for your country, but he couldn't even sit at the same damn table as his white counterparts. And if you don't believe me, or if you just want an example, you want it on television, or you want to watch an example of that, go watch Devotion with Jonathan Majors. He was in France and still got treated poorly. Just saying. So again, like somebody said, how can you incorporate the X-Men? You know what I mean? When you don't have issues with a black man and be in reality, a black man even being a black man being Captain America, like act like just there's no racism. Nobody is turning their eye up to. No politician is looking at this and like, why is he Captain America? Yeah, okay. This is fantasy now.
That I wanted to talk about, in addition to some of my thoughts on the way that they were trying to frame this movie, was the idea that there was a lot of hate surrounding this movie, but it ultimately leads to this theme of there always being some level of contempt whenever a black person is presented as either a headliner or a main character of something big that is going to be coming out. And we are now seeing a trend of this because we see the reactions to people before and after the Kendrick Lamar halftime show performance. And we see the before and after of the reactions of people, specifically the dominant society, of course, with the Captain America Brave New World movie. There have even been people who have gone as far as referring to this movie as Captain African America, which I was like, wow. The problem is that you have these suspected white supremacists who are eating mayonnaise out of a jar and on 4chan and are spewing all of their hateful rhetoric and all this other stuff. And then you have these tethers who have an issue with these types of depictions because they do not like to see the image of a foundational Black American excelling in any way, even if it is just something that is symbolic, or even if all they're doing is creating art. So yes, we could talk all day about the tokenism and all this other stuff, specifically with Captain America and Anthony Mackie. But at the end of the day, people just don't like it because there's a foundational Black American on its surface to begin with. So this now exposes the mentality of those who actually hated it for illegitimate reasons. Now think about it. a lot of these same people are not going to admit that it's because it's a foundational Black American on screen. They're going to try to use other things as a means to explain it away. Oh, it was a bad movie. It was bound to be a bad movie. Or in the case of Kendrick Lamar, I wanted to see somebody else. I wanted to see Miley Cyrus. I wanted to see, I wanted to see anybody but Kendrick Lamar. I mean, why do we have to see a hip hop artist? We could have seen anybody else. So that's why they, try to allude to other things, because it's a way for them to shield the idea that they don't want to say there's a Black person, specifically a foundational Black American in the case of your tether class, who is about to perform something and is about to knock it out the park. Because here's the thing. Some people will go and they'll say, well, Captain America tanked anyway, but Kendrick Lamar's performance did better than Michael Jackson's in 1993. So what do you have to say to that? One of the reasons why I believe that the hate for something like Captain America is even going on is because the dominant society is playing what I believe to be the two different wings on the same bird agenda. So I came up with this concept from this idea of what Malcolm X once said about how basically the white supremacists are basically operating from two different wings on the same bird when it comes to the political stances. So in other words, white liberals are no better than white conservatives when it comes to racism towards Black people, or anti-Blackness, as I would like to describe it in this video. Now, the same concept is being applied when it comes to the way that Black people, specifically in this case, Black men, are portrayed in media. When you have white conservatives that are watching as a Black man is being portrayed in some type of movie, TV show, or some type of production, they ultimately start equating this with some type of DEI concept. And they like to group everything together and then call it woke or whatever they like to call it, because they like to make it seem like the issues of a Black person, the issues of a woman, the issues of someone who's Hispanic, the issues of somebody who is Arabic are basically all the same issues, and they group it together. And you can even see this to some extent when you look at the Captain America movie, and they had Sam talking to old boy who was sitting on the bed after he had got injured, and he's supposed to be the next Falcon. He's Hispanic, and he's talking about how, he's creating a way so they can have a seat at the table. So they kind of threw that in there, and I noticed that. And then
hold on. Let me just almost real quick. That's the part that bothered me, because that's why I said stop acting like you're not supposed to be at that table. Hell, we built that table. Stop acting like. That's why I get mad when people is because when I played football back in the day, we couldn't celebrate. You know what I mean? Now I played when they had leather helmets and all of that, you know what I'm saying? And stuff was still in black and white. Let me try to move. Golly, I need to get him somewhere else. But because I've rearranged stuff so I can have my actual monitor here, my second monitor. But I always said, I was like, when we got in the end zone, it was like, don't celebrate. You're supposed to be in there. You're supposed to serve. You're supposed to score touchdowns. So act like you've been there before. Matter of fact, get there at many times. You don't need to celebrate. You're supposed to be in there. So when I look at that, we're, the seat at the table conversation. No, your Black ass is supposed to be at that seat. Move your ass over. Matter of fact, not only us, let me get the indigenous people in this country. The ones that look like me, not the $5 ones, the ones that look like me, because they're supposed to be here too, because a lot of them got wrapped up in us too. You know what I'm saying? They got their land stolen also. Oh, no, I ain't forgot. Because a lot of them already been over here. You know what I mean? They got wrapped up in the same bull job we got wrapped up in. No, we supposed to be here. Don't act like you just happy. The whole seat at the table. We supposed to be at the seat at the table. I'm just trying to make a way to be at the seat at the table. Negro, if you don't get your ass over there and tell them to move over. Why? Why am I saying that? Because we're so happy just being there. And they have propagated, I'm trying to tell you, the American society with the mainstream media has propagated us to believe that as long as we're there, that's just enough. That's why if you notice, there's no, shit, I didn't want to get political like this. Oh, I gotta say it like this, and there's no disrespect to my sisters. But why do you think there's not enough strong alpha males in the political spectrum? Why you think that they don't get the vote? Yes, there's some strong sisters that is up politically. There's some strong sisters, but why do you think there's no strong brothers that's up in there politically? I'm talking about no nonsense. And when they are no nonsense, they get memed and made fun of, like the brother who passed away. That I think he was like just he was part of I forgot the brother's name. He just passed, the older brother. Eric May, thank you. Y'all knew who I was talking about. Y'all knew who I was talking about. You can't have that. That energy disrupts everything. Why do you think it just be even in this YouTube space? Why don't you think that there's more very alpha, strong men that is like, nah, skip that? Not the crybabies, not the ones who's gonna weep on camera and all of this. And I can't go to. You know what I mean? Not them, strong alpha males that will sit up here but like, no. Can be able to look at it, not emotionally, look at it logically, and be able to explain it to you logically why this is this and this is that. Why you don't think that they have big platforms. Or if they do have big platforms, they're getting destroyed. You know what I mean? By people that look like us, that might be in certain different realms of our communities, but not part of the real situation. That's not part of the solution that benefits off of all the whining and crying and victimhood and they don't do this and they don't do that. Where you could do one or two things. You could cut the what Kendrick said, cut the TV off. Cut his TV off. You ain't got to participate in it, but you're sitting around, you on your social media just, I can't believe it. Do this to us. Oh my God. Why? Nobody told you to ingest this mess anyway. But they ingest it, and then they talk about people like me. They talk about people like Cool right here. Because they can't handle that energy. They can't handle what he's bringing. Just saying. Because when you do that, when you have this type of energy, when you have that revolutionary, that real strong revolutionary type of energy to have you think, the person who is emotional has no time to think. He's too busy in his feelings. He's too busy in his feelings. I don't care. I don't care about you. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care. Because I'm in my feelings. And you need to understand my feelings. You need to understand the way I feel right now. Logically, I'm thinking about it. And there's one or two things you could do. You can sit and complain, or you can make a change. And sometimes the change is turn it off. Just saying.
If the young man who was on the bed, who was trying to be the next Falcon, was talking about how, he needs to, try to aspire to better because he thinks about how his life was in the past when he was in Miami. So it's almost like he's equating this idea that either his family or himself, who immigrated from some other Hispanic country and came to the United States, specifically Miami, has the same struggles as a foundational Black American who has a family lineage that goes back to having experienced 400 plus years of slavery and the after effects. So they're basically comparing these two things. That's why I say that the dominant society, at least those on the right, have this idea that all of these struggles are the same. And if it's not an Anglo white male, then it's something that can be just categorized as woke. So they ultimately have a level of vitriol if there's a Black man who is presented. They do it with Black women too, of course, but in this case, a Black man, because they are included in this pile of woke and DEI. And what's ironic about that is that we are actually the least likely to actually benefit from DEI benefits whatsoever.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, we only have benefited from it by 4%. So we're the ones who are being headlined and have been showcased as, individuals who benefit from it the least.
We don't.
In the case of liberal suspected white supremacists, they like to almost make it seem like Black men have a certain privilege still, while they are within this whole idea of being a person of color. So they've even tried to pretend like we can even be oppressors of white women. Even look at shows like Invincible, where they try to make it seem like, there's this brother and he has this white girlfriend, he's trying to oppress her. And that's because men oppress women, instead of actually looking at the dynamics of being a Black man versus being a white woman. And if you really want to go back to history.
Matter of fact, before he goes any further, anytime that they try to make Black men like we be oppressing our women, they have to understand that 77% of us is grown up in a single mother home. The predominant percentage of Black men and Black women is higher with Black women in the society. We're 7 out of the 13%. There's 7% of the population. We're 6. So there's more Black women than Black men. And we grew up in a matriarch. We didn't grow up in a patriotic society. So anytime that people, try to throw in, this masculinity and, this misogyny and all of this stuff, dude, do you know we grew up with a lot of women in our family? We grew up in a straight matriarch. You know what I mean? We try to oppress women. They beat us up. Black women don't play that shit. What are you talking about? I hate that. I hate that talking point. I hate that talking point. You could probably try to do it in your individual household. And of course, everything goes by a case-by-case study. So I'm not saying that things do not happen because it's a case-by-case study. But in the overall viewpoint, that we live in a matriarch society as far as Black people. Black women, especially the way when I grew up, was nothing but women. You know what I'm saying? Even though I grew up with I had a lot of uncles and stuff like that. Most of them was, went to jail too. And that took away our society too. So if 77% of us or 76% of us grew up in a single mother home or, or a single parent home, but the majority of them is single mothers, but the majority of the men went to jail, is it not by design? And that's the reason why we we just don't oppress our women. I'm just saying, you got to think about it.
It will teach you that white women also were slave owners of Black men and used to
do
sexually deviant acts with these Black men and force them into having sex with them and doing all these other really crazy things to them. So it's interesting how we got to this idea that now we're supposed to be victimizers, not just of Black women, which is already crazy, but of all women. And as far as the tether class, more so with the whole Kendrick Lamar and Drake thing, the reason why all that went on was because ultimately the whole beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar was a shot at them. It was a shot at this idea that a lot of Black people from the diaspora who are anti-Black and are against foundational Black Americans can come over to the country, cosplay us, take the culture and all this other stuff, And if we call it out, then
hold
we're
on, wait
the
a
ones
minute.
who are
I
called
never
divisive.
noticed. Sorry,
and Kendrick,
I'm gonna run it back, but I never noticed that because I knew this was for like some for something that he did. I never knew that he actually wore a Jim Crow shirt with jumping Jim Crow. This is one of the reasons why I don't like Dumbo. I don't like anytime my kids when my kids was watching a little, I can't watch that. It's racist as hell. You know what I'm saying? It is so completely racist. But he got the Jim Crow shirt on with the Jim Crow jacket on. I did not know that. I didn't know that that was actually gear that you can wear. But let me run it back. But boy, you shooting you popping people today. People are catching strays.
was a shot at this idea that a lot of Black people from the diaspora who are anti-Black and are against foundational Black Americans can come over to the country, cosplay us, take the culture and all this other stuff. And if we call it out, then we're the ones who are called divisive. And Kendrick Lamar did that. So a lot of their hatred was because they were getting called on their bullshit. Let's just be real. Didn't y'all find it weird, too, that Isaiah Bradley was going out with a friend, that being the small Russian chick who was beating up dudes who were like 3 times her size?
I like
that was kind of strange to me. He just doesn't seem like the type of brother, like an old school brother, like a civil rights Black man, to go out with a young white woman and maybe even suggest that there may be something between them. Kind of weird, ain't it?
I missed that part.
If I had to rate this movie, I probably would on their bullshit. He just doesn't seem. Didn't y'all find it weird too that Isaiah Bradley was going out with a friend, that being the small Russian chick who was beating up dudes who were like 3 times her size? That was kind of strange to me. He just doesn't seem like the type of brother, like an old school brother, like a civil rights Black man.
Is that what he did?
To go out with a young white woman and maybe even suggest that there may be something between them? Kind of weird, ain't it? If I had to rate this movie, I probably would give it about a 7 out of 10. It was decent. It was probably a mid-range Marvel movie. It's not something that I'm like, okay, I got to go see again, but it's certainly not as bad as everybody is saying. All right, y'all. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say.
Yo, maybe I missed that part. Is that when he said that when he got his suit back, and I think Sam went to go holler at him, he said that he said, yeah, I'm going out with a friend, was the Israeli chick? Is that what he was talking about? I didn't catch that part. Maybe because I completely checked out in the third act. You know what I mean? Because there's certain parts of that third act that maybe I missed it. I didn't think it was. I didn't know it was her, but I don't know. I must have completely missed it. But let's transition over and let's wrap this thing on up. All right. Yeah, I maybe I completely missed that part. Oh, maybe that was it. I seen it. I just didn't make the connection. It was that chick. You know what I mean? I guess that's how much the third act took me out, because I was like, damn, we seen the majority of this in the trailer. You know, but yeah. It was cool, but then I ain't gonna lie, when Sam was talking to with Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, so you could tell he was on the soundstage and you could tell that they were green screened in. I was like, I totally focused more on that than anything else, and I kind of was like, okay, let's wrap it up. You know what? Let's wrap this thing up. You know, kind of like what this does.
So the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
That's kind of how I felt. Like, let's wrap. Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's go. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, this was good. This was good, and I appreciate the commentary. I'm not gonna lie, Nigris was not on my bingo card though. Yeah. Wow. But I you know what I mean? I appreciate the commentary, It's thought provoking, and it's something that, like I said, this video is in the link is in the comment section. I mean, it's in the thing. I can't even think now because I'm hungry and I'm ready to eat. But it's in the description of this video. So make sure you give my man a like and subscribe. And we gotta get together. We gotta get together and set something up so we can be able to have a conversation. You know what I mean? And pick each other's brains, man. I think this was really good, and I like the energy, everything. And again, it's thought provoking because this is what these conversations are supposed to be. It's to make you think. Don't get into your feelings. Actually think about it. You know what I mean? When it comes to these conversations, a lot of people don't want to think. What they want to do is use their feelings and emotions and stuff like that. Well, I feel. You know what I mean? They make up false narratives in their heads or whatever to push whatever narrative that they want to push, but they don't sit around and they don't actually think. So when you sit around and you look at it in a broader perspective, I can appreciate what Cool is talking about because there's a broader conversation that you could be able to have about, is Captain America tokenism for Americans? You know, if you go along, get along. If you just be happy to be there, maybe things to be better. Maybe we can have change because now I'm at the seat. Look at me. I'm at the seat. I'm happy. Well, you know damn well you deserve to be at that. You're supposed to be at that seat because you earned that seat. You're supposed to be there. So it's a bigger conversation to be had. And maybe, just maybe, this video was a way for you to be able to think about that seat at the table and how you need to tell these mofos to move over because you're supposed to be in that seat. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get up out of here. Thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of the Dre Mac Show. Again, what did you guys think about this video? Make sure to give a sub to my man Cool. It's in the description in this video. The full length of this video without my my commentary is is in the description of this video. So go ahead, listen for yourself, watch his other videos and see what you guys think, and give this video and his video a like also. But again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never ever miss this video again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. I flubbed that up. Peace and vibe higher, man. Enjoy the rest of you guys this Wednesday. Where's my outro at? Man, we got to get up out of here because you already know I got to go. Oh, man, where's it at? Got to go. Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over? What? Huh. Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.